One of my goals in life is to find my own voice, to forge my own path, or whatever cliche you want to come up with. Finding one's identity seems like an easy task.
Remember, be yourself.
Well, it's not as simple as it sounds. No one knows this better than Miles Morales. Throughout his journey, he finds his own way to be Spider-Man. And today, with a little help from Miles, we're gonna figure out what it means to find your own identity, or at the very least, a starter's guide. In the beginning, we see Miles in his comfort zone. He's a big fish in a small pond, happy seeing familiar faces among his neighbors. He is confident and content. You know, we've all felt that way. Everything changes when Miles moves from one school to the next. He's back to being a small fish in a larger pond. Everything is moving at a rapid pace that he can't keep up with. No one seems to give him the time of day. And I feel like we've all been there, whether it's a job we've started or new school. We have this excitement for the first day, saying stuff like, I'm the queen of the world, this is gonna be great. And then we get there and it's nothing we imagined at all. Either people can't talk to you because they're way too busy, or they don't know you, so why should they talk to you? And in this situation, there is one of two things that you can do. You can roll up your sleeves and work hard to build up the trust of your coworkers and peers. Or you can look at it the other way and you can become overwhelmed and discouraged. For Miles, this is exactly what he does. He tries to work his way out of this new school, back to a familiar place. But his attempt is futile. With his great expectations weighing on his mind, he goes to the one person he looks up to. You know, that one person that you think understands you the best? Whether that's your Aunt Susan, your Grandpa Malcolm, or your friend named Steve. Wow, I just kind of came up with those at the top of my head. The point is, it's that one person that you trust to showcase glimpses of your true self to. And for Miles, Uncle Aaron is the person who embraces his creative vision, whereas other people find it counterproductive or they fully don't understand it, like his father, who thinks that studying at school is more important than his artwork. I feel like with all creative types, we have this moment of being super guarded and scared to showcase our work. You know, that imposter syndrome that's like, you're not good enough or you don't know enough. At this moment in time, Miles is feeling that same thing, feeling like he doesn't know who he is or where to go from here, until a spider comes along and bites him. I'm sure that's fine. That wasn't a normal spider, that was a radioactive one, giving Miles superpowers like Spider-Man. If the imposter syndrome wasn't bad already, now he feels like an even bigger phony because there should only be one Spider-Man. And he's not that guy. For goodness sakes, the man has his own So-So Popsicle and a Christmas album.
Hey, he's got a nice voice.
At this moment, Miles doesn't want to be a hero. He doesn't want these abilities, but when he meets Spider-Man for the first time, he feels he's not alone anymore. There is someone here who's been through a similar thing, a teacher to help him show the ropes, or in this case, the webs. The burden of these newfound abilities is lesser for a moment. That yearning for understanding is quickly replaced by fear when he witnesses the death of Spider-Man. Whether Miles likes it or not, the responsibility of saving the city and becoming Spider-Man is now on his shoulders. And he does what anyone in this situation would do: read a bunch of Spider-Man comics and recreate them. The Spider-Man of his world is his idol, a person he looks up to and wants to be just like. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm guilty of this as well. I've tried copying traits from characters or celebrities that I respect. 9 times out of 10, it either comes across as super awkward or that I'm trying too hard. And in the next couple of scenes, this is the same thing Miles tries to do. And we all know what happens when we try too hard. It never works in our favor. I know that we all have idols. When it comes to finding our true identity, they kind of turn out to be more of a distraction than a help to us. Now, the people that are really helpful are the people that we see day in and day out, even if they don't have everything sorted out themselves.
You have money, right?
They're still there to help you when the going gets tough. Peter B. Parker is that friend to Miles. Sure, he may have his own problems to sort out, but he takes the time to teach Miles. Honestly, Peter is the equivalent to that teacher that you thought was going to be super awful in the beginning of the school year, but it turns out they were the best teacher for you. You know who he reminds me of? Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society.
Captain, my captain.
Man, that is such a great movie. I'm gonna have to go watch it. Peter B. Parker is the mentor that Miles needs in order to become a true Spider-Man, not just a costume wannabe. Throughout these lessons, Miles shows abilities that no Peter Parker, at least not in this movie, has been able to do, making Miles one step closer in redefining what Spider-Man means to him. And I think this is the first major step of finding your identity, to figure out what makes you different, whether that's from your life experiences or where you grew up. It doesn't really matter, it's what makes you stand out in the crowd. And for Miles, it is his ability to become invisible and use his static shock powers. As Miles starts to meet the other spider people, he learns just how different every spider person's story is. Gwen Stacy has this whole rock star mystique going on. Spider Noir is all dark and angsty, and Peter Parker is straight out of an episode of Looney Tunes.
You got a problem with cartoons?
They all have a similar powers, but their life experience and art style are what make them different. No two superheroes have the same story. They're all trying to better themselves in different ways. Peter B. Parker needs to work on his commitment issues. Gwen Stacy needs help opening back up again. Though our past failures and flaws can be difficult to talk about sometimes, they help us figure out who we are. If we don't learn from our failures, then how do we better ourselves? As many times as these superheroes fail, they still know how to keep swinging. They have confidence in themselves and their own abilities to keep moving forward. And at this point, Miles is missing that confidence because his imposter syndrome is still holding him back. Whenever Miles feels down, he goes back to Uncle Aaron. But it turns out that his uncle has been hiding a big secret of his own. He's the Prowler. Fun fact, the sound that is used to announce the Prowler's presence is an elephant under a filter. Anyways, Uncle Aaron is not all he's cracked up to be, being the man that's chased down his nephew twice. Although the Prowler works for Kingpin, he helps his nephew in two ways. One in the line,
You know me, sir. I don't ever quit.
even though this is a retooling of the sentence,
No matter how many times you get hit, can you get back up?
it's what Miles needs to hear to figure out how to be resilient in his own way. And when it comes to us, our image of ourselves shouldn't shatter the moment someone starts judging us. We have to be able to stand our ground and unapologetically be ourselves, no matter what's thrown at us. But I think the biggest lesson that Miles learns from his uncle is in his last words.
Do the best of all of us, man. You're on your way.
And although these words don't register with Miles right then and there, they help him find his own way, because a part of his identity was found in hanging out with his uncle. With our own lives, our family, our friends, and our teachers are the things that blend together to formulate who we are. And although we have these influences in our life, they don't necessarily write our story. We have to take a leap of faith in order to figure out what exactly we want in our own lives. Because in all of us, we all have that spark inside that's amazing. Taking that spark, taking that passion that you love and making it your own. And it doesn't matter what it is, because no one else can take it away from you, because you're the one telling their story. This is what Miles does. He embraces it all. His mother,
Our family doesn't run from things, Miles.
his uncle,
Just keep going.
his father,
Now see this
spark in you. It's amazing.
and the spider people.
It's a leap of faith.
He mixes all of them together to find himself, which is shown really well through the music of What's Up Danger. There's a great video explaining this better than I ever could. That seems like something you would want to go watch. I'll put it in the card above. He now has the power to write his own story and his alone. Doesn't matter if people like it or not. And sure, taking that leap of faith can be scary, but you'll never know if you don't try. Not gonna lie, finding one's identity is hard work. But when it comes to the identity of this channel, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know what it is yet. But I knew that if I stayed in that comfort zone of making a video the same way every single time, I wouldn't learn or grow. I feel like this is funny because just like with Miles, I took a leap of faith and I decided to create this video in a different style. It's a little bit different, but I kind of welcomed the challenge. If you liked this style, let me know by shooting the web at the like button down below. If you're looking for another super video, you should check out this one right here. It's about the secret to the incredible success. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will see you next time.